world is very unpredictable in 2025. We are seeing that every country is sort of tightening their immigration policies. I mean, US kept attacking the H-1B visas and student visas in general. And UK में there was a talk about how they want to reduce their post-study work permit from 24 months to 18 months. So all this is going on. This is why students are very confused कि 2026 में study abroad करना भी चाहिए या नहीं, and अगर करना चाहिए तो कहाँ से करना चाहिए. Now, in this previous detailed video, I talked about the study abroad policies that are changing this year. In this video, I want to provide a quick update and my opinions on which country can you realistically consider for studying abroad in 2026. All this on the other side of the intro. Keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nishtha. Dekho, study abroad needs to be thought more carefully this year. I agree, but the harsh truth is that India is not looking that great either. I mean, top 1% of the engineers who are graduating from top IITs and NITs, they are getting good salaries at the big tech offices in Hyderabad and Bangalore. But rest all students, engineers, they are struggling for jobs. IT industry is doing extremely badly. And then you have education is not upgrading, and startup world mein there are more scams and failures than success stories. So immediately India mein it does not seem ki could drastically change ho jayega. And let's not forget the poor infrastructure and quality of life. I can tell you from personal experience, Delhi is pretty much unlivable at this time of the year. I'm running purifiers 24/7. I've done so many doctor visits for my daughter. She keeps falling sick. And that's why I'll probably be spending winter somewhere outside, because you just cannot stay in Delhi in this pollution. So that is the harsh reality. So unless you are a very, very top engineer from the top IITs, etc., if you are serious or ambitious about your career growth, you will probably have to look options outside India. Now, what I feel is that these destinations, every country has some pros and cons. So depending on your degree program, what you're targeting, and goals, you will have to target different countries, because there is no one perfect solution for all courses. So today I will be covering which countries I would look at if I'm going for a master's degree, if I'm going for a PhD degree, or if I'm going for a MBA degree. Let me start with the master's list. So if you just want to do a master's and then look for a job in the industry, then these are the countries I would look at. By the way, I would recommend only doing a master's in STEM fields, because there are no jobs in humanities or arts kind of field, guys. So please avoid that. So if you're going for a STEM master's, my first preference would again be United States of America, for the simple reason that there is a 100K fee for filing a H-1B and entering the lottery. That actually works out in the students' favor, because that does not apply to international students, but it does apply to companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, etc., when they file a H-1B from outside US. So this is a major advantage. This also means that H-1B lottery would be less competitive going forward, because ye sare third party jo service providers the, and they used to fill the lottery with so many applications, they will be out. So it will be mostly students or internal transfers within US. That means students should have a better shot at getting the H-1B now. Of course, we will see how it pans out. But as of now, on paper, this policy looks very student friendly. I've talked this so many times. US has very, very huge job market. It's insanely bigger, much bigger than any other country combined. So if you are going for engineering kind of fields, US job market is a no-brainer to me. Second country I would probably look at, of course, is Germany. Primary reason being that Germany is very serious about attracting the international and especially Indian talent. They say ki we will make visa policies more flexible, more attractive. We give student visas more easily, and at least in STEM field and research categories, they are making it very easy for Indian students to come study and work there. I've myself interviewed the ambassador, and things look promising in that way. Of course, you have to know German language, because that's the ground reality, that companies still want to see a German proficiency if you want to get a job offer there, you will have to know German at least up to level B2. Third country somebody suggested and I looked at is can be Netherlands for a quick master's option, for the simple reason that, like, this is one of those countries in Europe jahan pe language dependency is not as much. So even if you don't know Dutch that well, you can still survive and build a career in Netherlands. So I think you can look at that. There are of course very few universities, but for engineering programs, TU Delft, etc., they are pretty reputed, and then visa and job pathways can open up there, and it's a beautiful country to be in, so do consider that option as well. Then at number 4, I'm going to seriously look at Australia. The point is, this year they have announced some big news for attracting the international talent. So they said that they will admit 9% more international students in 2026, and they are targeting around 3 lakh students to intake this year, and they are giving a priority for Southeast Asia. So Indian students will have advantage. Now there are some very, very favorable policies in Australia, like if you look at 4-year post-study work rights for STEM masters, then you get 5 to 15 PR points just for graduating in Australia. You can switch jobs freely, and you can work while studying, so you can make $25 to $35 per hour kind of thing. And if you get a job that pays more than 70K plus dollars, then you also meet your PR thresholds. So this is a country where you can study, work, and get PR more realistically this year. Now of course they are tightening the cap limits on the visas a little bit, but they are still friendly for Indian students. And if you're going for a good STEM category or healthcare kind of options, you should seriously look at Australia. And lastly, I know some people keep talking about Ireland. It's a mixed bag. I would consider Ireland if I already have some good work experience in STEM fields, and then I'm going for a master's because I just hope to be around in Europe and try out other countries, or maybe get a job there and explore some study abroad and work abroad kind of options. You can check it out. They do have tech companies in there, but it's not as easy as what some influencers are saying. So that is my list for master's options. Okay, now I'm going to move to the PhD section. And if I have to recommend anybody to do a PhD, my biggest advice is to do it from a country where research is fundamentally respected. Not India, where you will starve and be exploited as a researcher. And this is why my first choice here would be Germany, because they as a nation are very R&D oriented and have some phenomenal research institutes like Max Planck, Leibniz Association, Fraunhofer Institute, etc. So I was invited to present to the Science Roundtable at the German embassy, where I met many representatives from these universities and institutes, and they told me what incredible opportunities have opened up for some Indians via these places. And now let me share a more first-hand story. So one of our mentors in the Inner Circle community is Shiv Shankar. He is a doctoral researcher at the Max Planck Institute for Sustainable Materials. So he recently completed his master's in metallurgical engineering at RWTH Aachen. Now his thesis recently won the Otto Junker Award, and he was telling me how he met some people at the award ceremony and was offered full-time job offers on the spot. So the point is that there is great recognition and respect for good quality researchers in Germany, which also translates to great career opportunities. So I would definitely look at Germany. Second country I would look at is US, which is of course a global hub for research with premium corporate R&D labs like Google Research, IBM Research, Microsoft Research, Intel Labs, Meta AI, and these are hugely respected places, PhD students also benefit from the CAP exempt H-1B visas, where they have easier pathway to H-1B and later green cards. Third country I would look at is Switzerland, which is renowned for its cutting-edge research ecosystem, like institutes like ETH Zurich, EPFL, and then there are major R&D hubs of Nestle, Roche, and Novartis. Again, a very innovation-friendly country. The reason I choose Switzerland only for PhD and not for MS is because job hunt is easier after PhD, but not after masters. I've elaborated this in a previous video. Do check it out. Lastly, I would also look at Australia because of all the previous reasons that I've mentioned, but also they give an insane 6 years post study work permit if you finish PhD in certain fields. So that can be very attractive for some people. Lastly, let me talk about MBA. Now, I know I have not been talking about MBA for a while now, for the simple reason I don't think MBA is giving a good ROI at all. I mean, there is an oversupply of MBA graduates, and companies are not really putting that value on the MBA degree anymore. India में तो हालत खराब है. Barring, I think, IIM, ABC, I think all other institutes are struggling with the placements and salaries are not that great, to be honest. So वो जो एक MBA boom था आज से 10 साल पहले, that is not the case. And Nikhil Kamath did make a statement around it, and I have to partially agree. While his manner of speaking sounded more presumptuous, but the point is there कि आप blindly if you think कि मैं बस MBA कर लूँगा and मुझे job मिल जाएगा, that is not the case anymore. So the only exception I suggest for MBA is if you want to work in investment banking or finance industry, especially if you want to work with private equity firms or hedge funds, or in a very core finance role or you want to be an investment banker, you have to have a good MBA degree from a reputed institute. So if that is the case, then only I would recommend a MBA option. And in that also, I would probably look at only these countries. First is, of course, US, because that is where majority of the finance jobs are. You want to be closer to New York, Chicago kind of places. So graduating from a B school, a good B school in around these localities, so definitely Columbia, NYU, U Chicago, and then CMU for some of the quant options. Those can be definitely good bet. They are expensive, but if you get that job, you can pretty easily pay your loan pretty quickly. But yes, it's much more competitive than what it was 10 years ago. And then I think I would look at Singapore, which is the financial hub of Asia. A lot of interesting finance and banking activities happening in Singapore. Earlier it used to be Hong Kong, but because of the political turmoil, etc., Singapore is the financial hub now. And if you're targeting banking jobs in this Asia kind of a market, then Singapore is the place to be. And lastly, I would say in Europe, I would probably look at UK, like London Business School or some degree from London School of Economics. Can be worth it because London is a financial hub in Europe for sure. And this is the only course where I am even recommending UK, because otherwise I think UK's job market is not giving at all good results for Indians. So I am avoiding it completely. Only for MBA, only if you want finance jobs, then you can look at London. And maybe you can look at INSEAD in other places in Europe, but I would avoid even top schools in Spain, etc. The economy is struggling and like they are not landing jobs, So you want to be closer to either New York, Chicago, or some hubs in US. You want to be closer to London, or you want to be closer to Singapore. That is the fact. Those are the only places I would consider doing a MBA from. Otherwise, I would drop my MBA plans. That was my quick update on where I would consider studying abroad from in 2026 for Masters, PhD, and MBA. Let me know how you like it and if I've missed anything. I will see you guys next week with a fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.